Hi everyone, welcome back to my fourth attempt of sharing my results from Manifesting March. My absolute apologies, I don't know what happened, but using my Podbean platform, I tried to do the recording live. I actually got up at 4 a.m. to make it happen, and for some reason it just seemed to upload the previous podcast from Frugal February. However, I promise you, you are listening to the right podcast right now. You're going to hear the complete and utter breakdown of my results from Manifesting March, how I went, what I did, what I learned. Now, I had a bit of a shocker that morning. I even managed to spend the whole day wearing my t-shirt inside out. So some serious baby brain stuff happening here. So thank you everyone for being so incredibly patient with my continuous stuff up and publishing this podcast, but this one is right. Now, quick disclaimer as always. I'm a licensed financial planner, not a financial influencer. So please make sure you always understand that all of my content, whether it be a blog post, a podcast, a YouTube video, or something you see on my Instagram account, it is always, always, always general advice only. All right, my results are in, as I said. So at the beginning of March, I set a very ambitious goal. And my goal was initially to manifest, I should say, $3,000. However, in thinking about this goal, I decided to go harder, go higher, smash through any self-limiting beliefs. And instead of just aiming for, say, $3,000 in manifestation, but actually aim for $10,000 in manifestation, more than 3 times my goal. And I don't know what was going on, but I just had this like, you're aiming too low, you can do better than that, you're better than this, you're ready to, I guess, stretch your wings and fly, like get yourself out there, really raise your bar. And I thought, you know what, I was a bit scared of that goal, but also there was a part inside me that was actually really excited about trying to achieve something so ambitious. Because when I think about it, Frugal February, I saved and earned and hustled $1,400 or roundabout. So this was, going from 1,400 even to 3,000 was a big jump. But going from 3,000 to 10,000 was even a bigger jump. But as I said to myself, you know what? Why not? Have a go. Have a crack. You've got nothing to lose and so much to gain. So I think, put myself out there. I'm not going to lie. I was scared myself of achieving this goal. I was scared of failing. I was scared of letting you guys down. I was scared of disappointing people, including myself, looking like an idiot. I know some people are very close to the idea of manifestation and all those, I guess, energetic principles and laws like, law of abundance, law of attraction, the vibrations, the energies. I know for some people it's a little bit too kumbaya for people. So I was thinking, oh gosh, all those people are going to be laughing at me. But all right, I'm really glad I went for this goal. I'm really glad I put myself out there and I have zero regrets because I want to share with you absolutely everything. Now, I need you to bear with me for a little bit as I go through my results with you because it's not black and white. When it comes to manifestation, anyone who's done any manifestation work, it comes in wide and weird and wonderful ways. That's the power of manifestation. It's not necessarily always cold hard cash. However, I have definitely manifested cold hard cash. So how did I go? Did I achieve my financial goal of manifesting $10,000 for the month of March? No, but yes. But no, but yes, I actually manifested more. Yes, that's right. I actually manifested more than $10,000. And if I be really honest with you, even there's a little bit about me that's a little bit embarrassed and even a little bit ashamed, but also a little bit proud of what I've manifested. Because it's made me think, have I been, I guess, in my comfort zone for too long? Have I really not been pushing myself hard enough? Or is there a part of me that goes, no, this is a very magical challenge that I do once a year. You deserve all the fruits of your hard work. This isn't something that's sustainable. It's something that you get windows of opportunities throughout the year and you have to make hay whilst the sun shines. I don't know. Let me know what you think as you listen to this podcast. I always love it when you guys message me through Instagram, giving me feedback on my podcast and letting me know what you liked and what resonated with you. That I love this community. All right, so how did I go? What are the numbers? How have I managed to manifest more than $10,000? All right. So by the end of March, in my bank account, the $1,000 project, I had $3,797.54. I'm also still owed money, at least $200. I also had my margin loan repayment come out towards the end of the month, which is $250. And for the record, I know I have a margin loan attached to the $1,000 project, but it's not advice. I'm just sharing with you my financial journey, just for complete transparency, just so that you can see I'm marching to the beat of my own drum. I've got skin in the game. I'm working on my financial goals, and obviously everyone knows the story behind the $1,000 project. So obviously that $250 margin loan repayment, and I will disclose that repayment is not interest only, it's actually principal interest, so it's slowly and steadily reducing that margin loan over time, so it's very conservatively managed. Not that I'm recommending anyone borrow to invest without personal or professional advice. Now, this is the funny thing. So there is essentially almost $4,000, if not more, if you think about the money I'm still owed, that I managed to manifest. But I also managed to manifest for Tom $3,100. See, as I was doing all my manifestation work, in particular selling some things, Tom saw me. He's like, "What are you doing?" So I'm doing manifesting March. I'm decluttering and selling some of my own stuff. And in him seeing me do it, he said, "Oh, can you get rid of some of my stuff that I don't use anymore? Like I've got a paddle board which he's never used. It sits in our garage." He said, "Can you look at selling that for me?" And he started finding things for me to sell. So I did that, and I sold so much stuff for him on Gumtree, and I manifested him $3,100. Next thing is I manifested three and a half. Actually, I manifested more than this, but this is what's signed and agreed upon legally, and is confirmed as going ahead. But $3,500 in additional ongoing monthly income for a minimum of 6 months. I also managed to manifest $800 for our family account, and I haven't included this $800 in my numbers here because that is money that goes back to my family. Whenever I do something for my family through the $1,000 project, it always stays with the family. I don't feel comfortable when I say sell something that belongs to the family, taking that money for the $1,000 project that goes purely to the family. Whenever I sell stuff, it's my own stuff, and I'll go through this in a second. So yeah, in reality, there is over $12,000 worth of manifestation from the month of March. Like, it is unbelievable when you open yourself up to the flow of money, the idea of money, the opportunity of money, the energy of money. It is such a high vibration state, particularly in comparison to frugal February. Once again, I have my delightful 2.5-year-old screaming in the background, sounding like a dying cow. She's perfectly safe. She's perfectly fine. She's trying to get to me. All right, so how did I do this? Because even I am gobsmacked by my own results. I had to triple check all my numbers. So a lot of the cold hard cash came from selling things. I'm currently on maternity leave. I'm working, but in a part-time capacity. Also, this is a post-COVID world. I don't need to be in meetings wearing a blazer or a suit. A lot of my work is behind a Zoom screen or running around after the kids. I'm living in t-shirts and jeans and sneakers, which is not ironically, of course, what I'm wearing right now. So I was able to declutter and streamline my wardrobe. Now, because I've always purchased, I think, reasonably good quality pieces, a lot of those things, it was easy for me to sell because they were in immaculate condition still, because I always take really good care of my items, and they were items that held their value. And they're also really timeless, really classic, and really well made. And some people might be thinking, "Oh, hang on, Canna, you may have baby stuff that you sold." I don't have baby stuff to sell like you do. I didn't actually sell any baby stuff. Any stuff I did sell that was ironically baby stuff, that stayed with the family. These are all items of my own that I actually sold. So that was great. And I've had so many people message me saying, "Where are you selling your stuff?" Well, okay, there's a couple of different answers. I sold a lot of the stuff through my personal Instagram account at Canna Campbell Official. I have a couple of things left, actually, if you're interested. But I saw on a couple of other Instagram accounts that I follow, so every now and again, these girls, sell their clothes that they've bought, something that they've purchased that's not quite right, or that doesn't fit them all for whatever reason. And I thought, why not have a go at doing that as well before I sell my stuff on eBay or Gumtree or high end on Facebook? So I did sell a lot of stuff there. I also sold some stuff through an amazing shop in Bronte called Trading in Style. They have an online account, but their biggest platform is Instagram, and they will take a lot of luxury and Australian designer goods and sell them. They do take a cut, and it's, fairly decent cut, but sometimes it's easier and safer to sell that way if you've got particular pieces that you just don't want to have to do it yourself. And another place where I sell things is eBay. And another place where I buy and sell is High End on Facebook, which is an incredible group. I think last time I checked, there was over 95,000 members. But anything that's got a label, you can sell on this website. And every hour, there's heaps of stuff going up. And of course, there's always Gumtree. A lot of my, say, old pieces of furniture from my old home, I sold those on Gumtree. All right, so other things I did. I was very frugal. I still had the habits in place from Frugal February. I, was making most of my coffees at home. I made a lot of my snacks at home. It's been pouring with rain in Sydney, so a lot of our weekends were really slow and simple. They were at home. They weren't out and about spending money. We had, a lot of like home cooked meals. I did a lot of cooking in bulk, and, stockpiling in our freezer. We had just really slowed down, to be honest. And I just found I wasn't out in situations where I needed to spend money or was even tempted to spend money. It was so probably normally I rebel against coming out of Frugal February. I want to sort of get revenge, and I self-sabotage, but this time I didn't. All these habits continued on. I also did a lot of work on myself, and I think this is where I think biggest breakthroughs come. And anyone who's open to this stuff will really understand this and know what I'm talking about and know how powerful it is. And I think I underestimated how powerful this is. But I did role playing in my head. I did almost like seeing myself in a movie where I'd see myself getting a phone call to say, oh, we've got a new job for you, or receiving a message on Gumtree saying, oh, hi, is this still available? Can I come and pick it up this afternoon? Or I'd visualize myself logging into my bank account and receiving more dividends. I also did a lot of meditation. I did a lot of holosync work. I did a lot of, I guess, body energy work, you could call it, where I'd sit and think about the sensation of seeing money in my account and see how that translates to the feeling within my body, the energy within my body. So, for example, I would imagine the thought of logging into my bank account and seeing $10,000 in there. And I would sit and see how that felt in my body. And this was really good because it also helped me aware of any self-imposed self-limiting beliefs that I was carrying in my body that I wasn't aware of. I also did a lot of affirmations and a lot of journaling. And if you go and watch my YouTube on video, which I will link in the podcast description box, I highly recommend watching this, because you will, as you watch this, you will hear my voice and think about this podcast and go, that's what Canna was talking about then and there. Because freaky things happened when I did my journaling work and I did my affirmations work. We also did things like as I said, I kept weekends slow. Instead of going out and getting a pedicure, which would cost me say $30, I had a role playing session at home with Apple, and we had our own little maid beauty salon, and she painted my toenails. It was something we did in Frugal February as well. So lots of creative play, lots of movie nights, simple going to bed early and reading a book, cooking in bulk. These things really did quickly help contribute towards manifesting much. I also had really weird things happen, and this is where I want to jump into right now. I had a bracelet which I purchased in November or December, and it was from a very well-known brand. And the bracelet cost $145. I wore it 3 or 4 times, and it actually broke. The stones fell out. And initially I thought, oh, there you go. Serves you right for buying, this bracelet. It's not a brand you ever buy from before that you broke your rules, serves you right. But then I thought, you know what? I'm going to contact the brand. So I did, and explained to them and said, look, this is the first time I've ever purchased from your store. I'm really disappointed this happened. It's $145. And they gave me a choice. They said, you can either get the bracelet repaired, or you can get a refund. And I thought about it, and I thought, you know what? If this bracelet has fallen apart in 3 or 4 wears, it's most likely the new one's going to probably do the same thing again. So why am I going to waste my time and energy? Why don't you just get a refund and you can put that money towards the Manifesting March $1,000 project account? So I did. There was $145. I also did lots of market research work. Now, I always get asked, where do I do market research? Well, whenever I get booked into a job or I get an inquiry, I always share this on my Instagram stories at Sugar Mama TV. So what I recommend you do is Google market research online, and you will find a whole pile of websites to go and register with. There's Genros, oh gosh, I can't even think of all. There's so many of them. But if you just go and register online where it says earn cash for your opinions, there are literally a dozen you can instantly register with online, and register with all of them so that you are always opening yourself to opportunities to earn extra money. And so many of these now are done online in a post-COVID world. Another freaky thing that happened is we got this $800 refund that I put towards the family account. I purchased a rug for our girls' bedroom back in early January. It wasn't a cheap rug, it was an $800 rug. And every single month I kept on receiving an email saying it's been delayed, it's been delayed, it's been delayed, it's going to be next month, next month, next month. It got to the fourth or fifth email again saying the same thing. And I thought, you know what, enough's enough. I've been waiting for a really long time, and I'm all for supporting small businesses. But having it delayed by 5-6 months now, I was like, okay, this is crazy. So I just simply contacted them and said, look, I'm not prepared to wait any longer. I've been really patient as it is. Can I just get a refund? And they were absolutely perfectly fine with that. They said, no problem at all. We'll let you know when it's back in stock again anyway, but here's your refund. And a couple of days later, there was the $800 back in our account, which I put in the family account. I also received some dividends along the way. Now, I always try and have my dividends enrolled in an automatic dividend reinvestment plan so that that money never actually gets deposited in my account, so I can never get the temptation to accidentally spend it. However, some companies either don't have automatic dividend reinvestment plans, or they've paused them, or they've cancelled them. So for those ones, I have that money paid into the $1,000 project account. Now those dividends are from the $1,000 project portfolio, not from my own personal portfolio. So I like to keep that very much separate to demonstrate, the power of $1,000 at a time. So those dividends, little bits here and there, $15, $17, $50, they all added up and they went towards and contributed towards that $3,797. So they will obviously be manually invested as I buy more shares. Next two things that happened, and this is the most powerful ones because this is where I really did open myself up to earning extra money. And that is I've been given 2, actually if not 3, new business income opportunities. A really old friend of mine who's been living overseas, who's an incredibly successful entrepreneur, and I'm going to be interviewing him very, very soon because I've got an amazing story and some information to share with you soon. But he messaged me on Instagram. He's like, hey, Kanza, I haven't seen you for ages. Hope you're well. I've got this new business idea. I'm back in Australia and I want to float it past you and see what you think. Can we catch up for coffee? And he's in a very different industry to me. And even though, ironically, we used to work together many, many moons ago. And I actually went to this guy's 21st birthday party. So that's how old friends we are. So we caught up for coffee. It was so great to catch up. And he's like, talk me through this new business. I was like, wow, this is an incredible. I absolutely love it. I think it's brilliant. It's great for the planet. It's great for families. It's going to help put cash back in their pocket. This is really exciting stuff. He said, okay, I'm glad you like it, but I actually want you to be a part of this. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I want you to come on board with the rest of the people, the rest of the team that I'm building, and I want you to be a part of this. I want you to help me. And now I'm a financial planner. I'm not a business coach. I'm very much someone who likes to stay in my own lane. He's like, no. I want you on this. So I sat there and thought about it. I was like, you know what? I can help my friend. I can help him a lot. I've got some great ideas. I've also got experience in a little bit of this area from my own personal journey. I can do this. And so within a couple of weeks, we had a signed contract. We read through the terms and conditions. We made a couple of changes so that we both were happy and it works for my lifestyle. Obviously, my priority is what I do for a living, and obviously my family. And he was completely understanding and done. And so I have a monthly retainer. We're going to give it 6 months to give it a good go, and then we'll take it from there. But I've started helping already, and I've met the team. They're great. It's amazing. And this is out of financial planning. It's something very, very different. And to be really honest, it's actually really nice to be sinking my teeth into something different, using a different part of my brain, learning new skills, using old skills that I haven't used before. It's brilliant. Another opportunity that came to me was a new podcast. Now, it was pouring with rain one Monday morning, and it was dark, it was saturated, and I ducked outside thinking, there's a quick break in the rain, I'll walk the dogs. Of course, I get down to the park, it starts pouring with rain, and Peppy is just a nutcase puppy. She needs so much exercise. So I'm walking in the rain, it's pouring, I am saturated, no umbrella, and embarrassing, I think it's downside of being a minimalist, I don't own an umbrella. So I get back, I'm saturated. I get a phone call as I'm literally just about to walk in the doors with this person saying, "Hi, where are you?" I'm thinking, oh God, what have I forgotten? He's like, "You're supposed to be on this Zoom call with us to talk about this podcast." And I'm thinking, oh crap. I said, "Look, can we do it on phone? I'm just having a bit of a mess of a morning." He said, "No, no, we need to see you." And I was like, oh. So I jump on Zoom and I'm told to turn on the cameras. And I'm looking like a drowned rat. I don't think I'd even cleaned my teeth yet. I'm talking saturated, no makeup, looking horrific. There are four gentlemen look in front of me. I'm like, "Good morning, everyone. How are you?" Now, I thought this was a podcast to interview me for their podcast. Shows you my brain at the moment with 3 children, sleep deprivation. I'm exhausted. I'm not bad baby brain. Anyway, they're like, "No, no, this is not a podcast recording. This is a podcast idea we want to talk to you about." And I was thinking, no, 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 no. Like, oh, don't waste my time. And to me, I've got a lot of content going on. I've got my YouTube channel, which is every Thursday afternoon. I've got my Instagram account, and I write blog posts. I do other sponsored jobs for other brands that I love. And of course, I've got this podcast. I'm like, oh no. They're like, no, 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 listen to this. They're talking. I'm like, oh, actually, this is a really good idea. I really like what they're talking about. I really like their ideas. And these are really nice people. These men are lovely. They're kind, they're courteous, they're fun, they've got a great sense of humor, they're real. I'm like, listening to this, I'm like, you know what, Canna? This is something new. This is something different. This is something exciting. So I went back to my business partner, Corey, and spoke to him. And I'm like, "Corey, I think this. Obviously, we're really time poor. We're really busy. We've got our hands full. But this is interesting. This could be great. How can we make this work for everyone so it's a win-win?" So Corey and I brainstormed a few ideas, went back to them, and this isn't signed off on or agreed upon, but it looks like there may be a new and very exciting additional podcast that we'll be launching, and it'll be different to this one, but this is, this is really exciting. So terms and conditions not signed off on, but again, I was so close to this. And I have to say, one thing manifesting March, probably the biggest benefit I've learned from manifesting March is this has forced me to really look at the way that I'm working. I'm putting more stuff on my plate, more workload on my plate that comes from manifesting March, but it's forcing me to stop and look at the way I'm working. And I'm really looking to think to the efficiency. And I've made a few changes already, and I'm already really starting to feel and see the benefits of working smarter, not harder. Investing my time up front to look at doing things in a better, clever, savvier way so that I can have the space for more ideas and more opportunities for greater financial abundance. Now, what did I learn from manifesting March? Well, I guess on top of those benefits, the first thing I learned was it's about the momentum. If you don't jump on an idea you get from doing any manifestation work or manifesting March, that idea will evaporate and disappear, and it'll be a long time before you get given another one. You must jump on, seize, and be grateful for every idea that comes your way. For example, the moment I would go and sell something on Gumtree and I got the idea to sell something new would come up to sell after that. Now, I'm a minimalist. I could have sworn I had nothing to sell. I don't hold on to things. I'm not a hoarder. We have storage in our home, but not a huge amount. And I don't like to open my cupboards and drawers and see them being packed and squashed. I'm pretty ruthless, to the point where the other day my in-laws came over to stay and they asked for a cup of tea. And to my embarrassment, this is another umbrella story, we only had 2 mugs. Yep, that's right. We have 2 mugs in our home. So I had to make my mother-in-law and father-in-law a cup of tea, wait until they were finished drinking before I could make my own cup of tea. Now, you'll be pleased to know I have purchased 6 new mugs. So I'm starting to, be a bit more kind to myself when it comes to minimalism work. But I thought I had nothing, but it was weird. The moment I would think I had nothing, I'd find something. And if I listed it straight away, shortly another opportunity or item to sell something would quickly appear. Now, the first one that gave me a great head start, and I love sharing the story because it was a lot of money, I sold an old mobile phone on Gumtree for $650. How many people have an old mobile phone sitting in a drawer? Now, the reality is most people have insurance on their phone. If something happens to my phone, I'm insured. I go back to my mobile phone provider and they'll send me a new phone. There's no need for me to hold on to an old mobile phone. Plus, all my data and all my images are uploaded to the cloud. So it's not like I've got all these old images on those old phones. And even if you do have old images attached to your old phones, ask yourself this: how many times in the last couple of years have you actually gone to your old mobile phone, switched it on, and flicked through those images? Do yourself a favor and upload those to the iCloud and sell that phone to the secondhand economy. That was $650 cash. I couldn't believe it. And there it was, sitting there for at least 6 months in my drawer. I don't need it. So that was a great head start. Now, the moment I sold it, that's when I would find new things at the back of a cupboard that I could sell that I didn't need anymore. I just kept the momentum. So if you're doing this, don't just think, oh yeah, I'll do that on the weekend. Do it right then and there on the spot. And you never know what new thing will present to you as you're selling things or as you're doing other ideas to hustle up some extra money. Now, the second lesson I learned was faith. And this is a big one here. If you watch my YouTube on video, which is live, and as I said, I'll link it in the podcast description box. There was a moment in doing Manifesting March where I felt flat and I felt frightened, actually. I felt like I had let you guys down, that I was a huge disappointment. This was not working. It was a failure. I was a failure. I had egg on my face. It was just an absolute mess. And this is where I was running out of ideas. Nothing was happening. People were taking forever to come back to me on new business ideas and opportunities. And I started to panic, to be honest. So what I did was I caught myself out. I said, stop. Canna, you've got this. You know what you're doing. Take a deep breath. It's okay. You're sugar mama. You've got this. Have the faith. So I took myself away to it and had a quiet space. And I did my inner work. I wrote down some affirmations. I did the role play visualization work. I listened to some hollow sync. I listened to some meditations. I focused on the energy work of feeling the sensation of financial abundance in my life, in my body, around me. I did this, everything. And I literally, within about 15, 20 minutes of doing this, I got an email or a text message, booking me for some work. Another time when I felt a little bit flat, not as dark as this moment was, I was feeling worried and stressed. I took my dogs for a walk, I listened to some money affirmations, and make sure you, by the way, on that note of money affirmations, I've actually made a money affirmations podcast, which you should definitely go and listen to. Anyway, I was walking through the park, listening to money affirmations, feeling a bit like nervous because I've really put myself out there with this challenge. And as I was walking on my way back home, text message, can you do some market research work? It was $120 or something like that, right then and there. So you've got to really have faith. You've got to really believe in this. If you're not open to money, it's not going to come flowing towards you. That's why I always say, and I have a gift sticker that if you search Sugar Mama when you're doing a sticker, you'll see one that says, be open to the flow of money. So making sure that when there is nothing happening, don't panic. That is actually when the magic is just starting to start cooking for you. And when there's nothing happening, that is a great opportunity for you to use that time to rest, to use that time to recover, use that time to rebuild, use that time so that you are ready for when all those opportunities and moments of abundance and ideas and inspiration come flowing to you. You have all the energy in place and all the ducks lined up to make the most of those and really capitalize on them and seize them. The other, third thing I learned, I said I'd only share with you two. And that's the third thing, is I realized actually I'm quite closed with money myself. Not from a financial investing, personal finance perspective, but actually from a business one. There was no way and chance I was ever thinking of looking at helping with other business ideas and opportunities. I'm not a business coach. I'm not an accountant. So I'd always close myself off to this. But this is different. And these two opportunities presented to me through a podcast and through working with my friend on his new business, I had never opened myself up to that. So I need to be more aware of that and see that my journey may be changing. My story may be changing. It may be time for a fresh chapter or even a fresh book. We don't live in a world anymore where we pick one career path and that's it for the rest of our lives. Having said that, I promise you I'm not going anywhere. My content's still here to stay. I'm still fiercely passionate about financial independence and financial freedom and giving you the financial literacy that you deserve. So don't worry, Sugar Mum is here to stay. But I think it's safe and it's okay and it's acceptable. And it's exciting to be able to open yourself up to go down different career paths and see how your story or your journey or adventure might pivot, and be open with that and to go with the flow and to have faith and to trust. So that was really interesting. And one other quick thing, which you'll hear about further down the track later in this year, is I'm going to be creating an online workshop program. So this is another business idea that was born out of Manifesting March, and I've got a business coach helping me make this happen. So that's something really exciting that I'm going to be working on over the next couple of months, so it's ready for you before the end of the year. Now, quick 3 stories for you. There were lots of people around the world who did Manifesting March, and thank you to everyone who shared their stories with me. But there were 3 ones that stood out in particular that I wanted to share with you. Number 1 is a girl manifested a Louis Vuitton handbag. Unbelievable. To cut a really long story short, she really wanted this handbag. She decided that was going to be her goal for Manifesting March. She couldn't come up with enough money. I think she came up with something like $1,500, and she was feeling a little bit discouraged and I guess a bit like I was, feeling like questioning why she did this in the first place. Anyway, before she knew it, in her inbox turned up exactly the same handbag that she wanted, even in the right color, but it was slightly damaged. The lacquering had slightly come off. She thought, you know what, that handbag is the exact handbag I want, in the right style, the right color, and it's the exact same amount of money that I've got in my Manifesting March savings account. So she purchased it. She loved it. It arrived. She's carrying it around, and she walked past a Louis Vuitton store, and she thought, you know what, why don't I take the handbag in there, and they might have someone that they recommend that can fix it for me. So she took it in there, and they immediately took it off her. They came back out with a brand new Louis Vuitton handbag, same color, same style. Now, this is a handbag, I think and it's when she actually sent me the pictures. Now, this is, funnily, is actually one of the Louis Vuitton handbags that I've been lusting after for a really long time. And what happened was, apparently Louis Vuitton had a bad batch where the lacquering was coming off, so they had a recall. And so she got a brand new Louis Vuitton handbag, and it cost her something like $1,500. And I guess, not that I'm recommending everyone rushes out and buys a Louis Vuitton handbag, but you know, when you purchase with a store with a reputable brand that upholds quality, having things like that protection there is well worth it. And I had a very similar situation happen with one of my Louis Vuitton handbags where the glue leaked, and they gave me a huge credit note for that handbag to be replaced. Another cool story was a personal trainer had a fixed home loan. She's only allowed to make an extra $10,000 per year on her home loan without being penalized. She'd already put $4,500 as an extra lump sum repayment, and she said for her Manifesting March, and these people have been messaging me their notes, their affirmations, their goals, their handwritten notes, I should also really point out. And she wanted to get up to the full $10,000 before the anniversary clicked over. So her goal was to manifest $5,500. Again, she did it. Randomly, she found new clients. People have been recommending her as a personal trainer. She also was able to sell some supplements, and she was also able to add some extra income into her business. She said all within the month of March, she manifested $5,500 exactly. I had another lady who messaged me, and she tried to manifest $8,000. And she said, she wrote to me, and she's like, I did this. I wrote it down. She even took a photograph of her handwritten notes. She's like, nothing was happening. And she's like, she was just about to give up. And she said her husband randomly called her to say, I've just left the accountant's office who's just finalizing our taxes. You'll never guess what, but you're getting a tax refund. And she said she smiled, and he said, guess how much it is for though? She smiled and said, it's $8,000. And he said, how did you know that? She's like, because I did Manifesting March, and there was her tax refund. There were so many stories, but they were the 3 ones that really stood out to me. And I would love it if you're listening to this and you're like, I did Manifesting March and I've got a great story to share with you. I would greatly appreciate it if you can get in touch with me through my Instagram account, because I want to make a really special podcast where people can speak for 2 or 3 minutes and quickly share with me and with all the other listeners their Manifesting March magic stories. Because the more we do this, the more we help open people up to these ideas, because they really are life-changing. And I know for some people this is too much, or it's too confronting, or it's hogwash, but this is stuff that's changed my life. And even Tom, I would never say Tom is close to this at all, but he breaks things down in a very simplistic way. I'll say I'm doing Manifesting March. He's like, so basically you're just working a lot harder than what you would normally do. We're both right. I will say, well, I'm visualizing, I'm creating, I'm imagining, and he'd be like, well, no, you're just being really positive, and positive people have better things happen to them. They see the glass being half full. So Tom's a very practical, methodical, rational person. I'm a highly emotional, creative being that, was all we're different, but we're both saying exactly the same thing. We just have different perspectives. So yes, this isn't for everyone, but even if I can find a way to show people how to understand this and how this works in their own way, in their own language, with their own, I guess, way of thinking, only positive, great things are going to come from this. All right, I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for everyone who has listened or tried to listen to this podcast 3 times. It's 4th time lucky. I'm really proud of my results, and I'm really looking forward to doing this again. And for the record, I will be doing more manifesting money and more frugal challenges, but over 10-day bursts. So please make sure you're following me on Instagram, because I'll be sharing this proactively so that you can join in this program, these challenges with me, and reap all the benefits and rewards. All right, everyone, thank you so much for listening to Sugar Mama's Fire Play podcast. I'm financial planner Canna Campbell, and please make sure you are subscribed and leave a rating and a review if possible. Ciao for now.